Can resveratrol supplements help women with osteoporosis and osteopenia? That was the question that a friend recently asked me. So today, let's look at the actual clinical trials on resveratrol for building bone to help you get a better idea if it's right for you and what amount might work if you were looking for a supplement. Most people are aware of resveratrol as that polyphenol in red wine and grapes that's promoted for its anti-aging effects, and we'll stick a pin in that today. But what's the idea behind resveratrol building bone and helping osteoporosis? So it has to do with resveratrol's phytoestrogen effects. Basically, resveratrol seems to act like a plant-based estrogen, and various researchers have reported that resveratrol appears to not only protect bone, but might also promote osteogenesis, the formation of new bone. Now, in full transparency, a lot of that research does stem from isolated cells in a petri dish and laboratory animal studies, and we're not even going to talk about those. Instead, let's just focus on what happens to the bones of women when they take resveratrol supplements. So let's begin with this study, which tells us in the title that resveratrol supplements improve bone mineral density in postmenopausal women. It's a 2-year-long study where 146 postmenopausal women took resveratrol supplements or a placebo for a year, and then they switched groups for another year to see if there were any differences. Results indicated that resveratrol supplements appeared to slightly improve bone density in the lower spine and hip area, especially in the femoral neck, which is an important fracture-prone part of the hip. It also lowered CTX, a marker of bone breakdown, suggesting that resveratrol may have helped slow down bone loss. They also reported that it lowered the estimated fracture risk, especially hip fracture risk, but do understand that they actually calculated this with something called the fracture risk assessment tool, better known as FRAX. And that's an important distinction because this study did not prove that resveratrol supplements actually prevent hip fractures. Here's another investigation. This is a 1-year-long study involving 60 postmenopausal women who were given a combination of resveratrol and a soy metabolite called Equal. Compared to the women who took the placebo, DEXA scans revealed that women taking these supplements had about a 3% improvement in total body bone mineral density. They also reported reductions in blood markers of bone breakdown and improvements in blood markers of bone formation too. Now that all sounds great, but remember that because these researchers were testing 2 different supplements, this study cannot prove that resveratrol itself caused the improvements that they reported in this investigation. And that brings us to this meta-analysis where researchers analyzed the results of 10 previous resveratrol trials. Now, the results of this meta-analysis indicated that resveratrol supplements had no statistically significant effect on bone mineral density. Now, this result could simply be due to the studies that they were analyzing in this trial. And to give you a better idea of what I'm talking about here are those 10 studies that were analyzed in this meta-analysis. And as you can see, some of these studies involve women, yes, but also men. And the amount used of resveratrol was pretty much all over the place, ranging from as low as 8 milligrams a day to as much as 1,500 milligrams a day. Also, many of these studies were not osteoporosis specific, but rather involved people with fatty liver disease, diabetes, and other health problems. What this means is that this review article cannot prove or disprove that resveratrol supplements help women who have osteoporosis. Here's a table of the studies I just showed you along with the results and what I think are some of the problems with these investigations. And as you can see, all of these studies have issues. That said, based on the research that's available today, if resveratrol supplements are truly going to slow bone loss and help women with osteoporosis, look for a supplement that has at least 150 milligrams of resveratrol and make sure it has trans resveratrol, which appears to be the active form. Most supplements will give you that, but do look at the supplement facts label to double check. And to get you started, I will link to a resveratrol supplement that I vetted myself. And as always, if you have any questions, leave them below. And until next time, take care out there.